Solution for Williamite era essay question. Now to begin the solution, we'll first understand the meaning of the sentence. Now this sentence states a comparison as is indicated by the use of phrase longer than. In the Williamite era, the Irish Catholic population were in revolution against the Roman Catholics longer than the non-Anglican Protestants. So clearly longer than denotes a comparison here. Now what is the comparison? We can tell that Irish Catholic population revolted against the Roman Catholics. Now beyond that, the comparison is not very clear because one of the two things could be happening here. The first possible comparison is that the Irish Catholic population revolted against the Roman Catholics, and the Irish Catholic population also revolted against the non-Anglican Protestants. So there is only one set of people who are revolting against two different set of people. And the sentence is presenting the comparison between these two revolutions. So that is, the fight against Roman Catholics was longer than the fight of Irish Catholic population against the non-Anglican Protestants. Now, if we were to express this meaning, then we would use the word against before stating the next element of the comparison. That is, the Irish Catholic population were in revolution against the Roman Catholic longer than against the non-Anglican Protestants. Now, this would clearly set up the comparison over here. However, in the absence of that word, there is yet another possible comparison. And that is that Irish Catholic population revolted against the Roman Catholics, so that part of revolution is correct. And the non-Anglican Protestants also revolted against the Roman Catholics. So now there are two different populations who are revolting against one common population, that is Roman Catholics. Now, if that were the meaning, then how we would represent that would be that Irish Catholics were in revolution against Roman Catholics longer than the non-Anglican Protestants were. So in this case, we would need to repeat this helping verb were. Okay, so as it stands, the original sentence is not correct because we do not know as to which one of these two comparisons are being talked about. So that's why this sentence has an error. So now let's proceed on to the next step where we figure out if there are any other possible errors in this sentence. Now, one more thing here is that in the Williamite era, the Irish Catholic population were in revolution against. Now, this part here, were in revolution against, it sounds a bit wordy. I mean, we can express this in a much better manner by simply saying that the Irish Catholic population revolted against the Roman Catholics, and that way, we'll get a much more concise sentence. So this sentence really has two errors in that, first of all, the meaning is not clear, and secondly, that it is unnecessarily wordy. Now let's review the answer choices to find out the correct answer choice. Now clearly choice A is incorrect because of the two errors that we discussed. Choice B also has similar error in that were in revolution against is unnecessarily wordy. So this has the same error as choice A does, so this is also incorrect. Choice C, revolted against the Roman Catholics longer than the non-Anglican Protestants. So in this choice, we are using the more concise expression, revolted against. However, we are still not very clear as to whether the comparison is between the two revolutions of Irish Catholic or between the two revolutions, one of Irish Catholic against the Roman Catholics and the other of non-Anglican Protestants against the Roman Catholics. So this sentence again has the same meaning error as choice A does. Coming to choice D, revolted and were against the Roman Catholics. Now here we are changing the sense of the sentence. We are presenting two different actions. So revolted against has been split into two things. So it states that Irish Catholic population revolted. It doesn't clearly say that who they revolted against. It simply states that the Irish Catholic population revolted, and then it says that Irish Catholic population was against or were against Roman Catholics longer than the non-Anglican Protestants were. So it's not necessarily saying that Irish Catholic population revolted. All it's saying is that it's they were against the Roman Catholics longer than the non-Anglican Protestants were. So again, choice D distorts the meaning of the original sentence, and that's why it's incorrect. And our correct choice is choice E. And notice here, it uses the correct expression or more precise expression, revolted against. And then it also repeats the verb here, did. So longer than the non-Anglican Protestants did. So did replaces revolted. So instead of repeating the verb revolted, it simply says did. So choice E is the correct answer. So again, the thing to keep in mind is that whenever you read the sentence, if it's stating a comparison, the comparison should be absolutely clear. There should be no ambiguity regarding as to what the sentence is comparing, what two entities the sentence is comparing.